So a new message comes in. It's about a person living with an ex-addict and the emotional struggles of helping her mom get sober. Daniel Paulino here. Welcome to the channel. We talk about how to release unwanted weight and how to overcome alcohol addiction. If you like those topics, hit the like button, subscribe, comment below. Let me know what other topics or what other questions you want me to answer. So this video is generally me answering questions that come in. So let me read it. It's quite a bit long, but bear with me. So been dealing with my mom since I was 13 and now I'm 28. She's in her late 50s and just got sober 13 days ago. I let her move in with me and I helped her wind down to the point of nothing. It was hard and she said horrible things through the 2 weeks of winding down. My sister took her for 2 weeks and she's moving back in with me on Sunday. She's about to come in a large amount of money soon, which is why we allowed her to stay with us and get sober. I'm just so scared. I had a nightmare. I caught her drinking again. I wish things were easier. Not to mention I live with my roommate and my girlfriend who have been nothing but understanding and helpful. I just feel shitty about it, and I know my mom is sober because she has been blowing a device in her car from the Davis, I'm not sure what that is, and won't start it if it detects alcohol. I've made the decision though that once she moves out, if she drinks again, I'm cutting her out of my life. I tried to help her get sober 100 times, even times she said she wanted it herself. Somehow she just can't give it up. So first thing I want to say is I want to commend you for being there for your mom and being with her through these hard times. I know it's very challenging and like you said, an emotional train wreck dealing with it. So I want to commend you for actually stepping up and being there for her. And just a couple of things off the top of my head that I would say is that when someone becomes an alcoholic or alcohol use disorder, is no longer in their control. The alcohol has taken over their body. See, an alcoholic is someone that cannot say no to alcohol. If they can say no to alcohol, they're not an alcoholic. So it's like breathing, right? We can control our breathing for seconds, maybe 60 seconds for most of us. But then we have to get it in because it's a survival instinct. So when someone becomes an alcoholic, they have trained their body to see alcohol as a survival instinct. So your body is craving it. The longer you wait without drinking, the more your cravings grow. And a lot of times it leads to binge drinking. And so that is one of the struggles that people with alcohol use disorder, they're shamed, they're looked down upon because they can't control themselves. But you have to give them compassion because it's really something that is out of their control. It's like any other sickness. And when you have a sickness, you need something to help you. You need a medicine, right? Any other medicine out there, you get social support. People are there for you. You get medicines, you get treatments. And so because alcohol use disorder or alcoholism is so misunderstood, people shun alcoholics. They look down upon them. They try to disown them. They don't want to be there for them. But imagine if a family member got cancer or any other illness or any other disability, we will rush to be there for them. But because alcoholism is so misunderstood, people that have this disease are shunned. And the good news is that you can actually improve this. You can actually cure or reverse it, right? And so just look at a film called One Little Pill. You could go search it up. There's tons of information out there of people using what is called the Sinclair method, which the short on how to understand it is watch the documentary. It's going to educate you. It's going to show you all sorts of different people who have used the Sinclair method to reverse alcohol use disorder and cure it, right? To get it to the point where you're actually in control again. And alcoholism is a learned behavior. People drink. The more you drink, the more you get trained to crave it. And the cravings start to come more frequently the more you drink. Sometimes people go through tragedies where they rely heavily on alcohol and then they become addicted. And so It's a learned behavior, and we have what is called endorphin blockers, which is a medicine that people take to block their endorphin receptors, to where they, every time they drink, they no longer get the reinforcement, and so you begin to reverse it. They tested this on rats, on different animals, and they saw how the animals got addicted and then unlearned the addiction through taking what is called now traxidone, right? And so it's something that you might want to consider, depending on what level you're at. But that is the hope that you have out there. Now, let me give you about 7 tips to support you through this journey. Number 1 is you want to set boundaries. How can I establish clear boundaries for when she moves back in? So you want to know, what are the rules that you need in the house? What do you need? What's going to cause you to live comfortably in your house? So you want to determine the rules, and you want to communicate them. Things like, when we come in the house, we take our shoes off and we put our stuff here, and there. Or we don't make noise after 9 p.m. On Sundays, I go to this room over here. Please do not disturb me. Don't knock on the door. And so when she moves back in, you want to establish your rules of conduct for your living space. You want to communicate it, and you want to enforce it. Because if you don't have any boundaries, it's gonna be a disaster, right? So that's the first thing. You want to communicate them, have your boundaries, and of course they're going to change from time to time, and maybe she will have some certain requests from you for you to both live comfortably in the same space, because it's about building that structure for the home to where when you step in your home, you're like, you get to disarm yourself. You get to come into a place where you feel loved and supported. And so it's very important that you set that up from the beginning and communicate it. Have weekly, bi-weekly, or monthly meetings to discuss how things are going. So that's the first step. Set the boundaries, communicate them, communicate openly. So what are some ways to communicate about my feelings without escalating the tension? So, you could perhaps get a book called Nonviolent Communication by Rosenthal. I forgot the name, but nonviolent communication is a way that you can communicate effectively to be heard and hear the person, and be able to create a situation where you're cooperating, teamwork, to get what both you want, to create a win-win situation without guilt, without shaming, without trying to overpower the person, and having clear communication without you pressuring the person or without you giving threats and things like that. It's clear communication. So the next thing is you want to create a support system. Question you want to say, how can I invite my roommate and my girlfriend in this journey for addiction support? So, and also you want to join support networks. Like I created a group called Sober and Thriving, or Sober and Fit. You want to click the link below to learn about that, to be supported as you go through this journey and as you implement all of these strategies to be able to get her help her get sober. And it's a team effort. Like I said, watch the film, the documentary, One Little Pill. Watch it with her. Watch it with your girlfriend or boyfriend. I think this is a man speaking. There's a man in the question. So watch it with your girlfriend, watch it with your mom. And if you're close enough to your roommate, watch it with them as well, so that everybody could understand how this clear method works in the recovery process. So then you want to learn certain coping mechanisms. What do you do when you get stressed? What do you do when you're losing it, when you feel overwhelmed? You have to have different processes to be able to implement when you are feeling like that, because if not, you're going to be yelling, you're going to be angry. Next thing you know, you're going to be kicking her out. You might struggle with your relationship with your girlfriend, which tends to happen when you bring in this dynamic. And so you want to have different processes and systems that I teach in more depth in the community, Sober and Fit, link in the description. So you want to have those coping mechanisms in place. Number 5, you want to celebrate those small wins, because a lot of times people get disencouraged, they lose hope because they think they're not making progress. But you want to write down those milestones. How long was it since the last drink? You said 13 days. Beautiful. It's most likely they're going to relapse at one point. Now, how do you overcome the relapse? How long does it take? Are they going to be binge drinking for a week when they do relapse? Or how about they went from binge drinking for a week to binge drinking to 3 days, and then they reduce it to 2 days? So you want to celebrate the wins. And then, like I said, prepare for the relapse. It tends to happen. It's just part of how it works. Nothing ever is straight success. And then you also want to focus on your well-being. You want to put yourself first, be able to overcome whatever, because it's not just about the person. A lot of times we bring people in our lives that bring a lot of chaos because we want to avoid focusing on our issues. We want to seem like the perfect person, but in reality we all have flaws. And so you want to focus on yourself. And one of the ways that you can do that is by joining my community and learning about all the different tools for the coping mechanism, how to communicate effectively, how to apply the Sinclair method. All these things that you can apply, you can learn them in more depth by clicking the link below, joining the community, and by hitting the like button, commenting, and I see you on the next one.